What's going on, guys? Today I would like to give you just a sneak peek preview of the beta final build of Access Football 2016 that's coming out this Wednesday. Some of the new changes that have been made and some of the suggestions and feedback that's been implemented into the game again. Danny Jugan has done an amazing job of listening to the fans of this game and trying as best as he can with the limited resources that he has to make us happy, and he's done a masterful job of that. And I will always praise a developer that listens to feedback, no matter what it is. Alright, so first thing that he's changed, and this is thanks to a comment that was made on my last video, and I'm going to give him a shout out right now because this is from direct feedback from somebody that saw my video and didn't even own the game. I don't know if he owns the game or not, but this is the kind of support that I'm talking about. Of course, the financial support is always good, but just telling the developer what you see in the game that needs to be changed or tweaked that would be closer to simulation football goes a long way. And here's an example. I'm going to read this verbatim, and I'm going to quote the guy. So special thanks to the NBC27 for this feedback on my last video. I knew there was something wrong about the offensive line blocking on passing plays. I just couldn't quite put my finger on it, and of course, thanks to the NBC27 for his feedback, this issue has been addressed. But here's what he said in the comment section. Quote, "The biggest issue with the pushing of the defensive lineman is that it shouldn't be in pass blocking situations. It's illegal for an offensive lineman to be more than 3 yards down the field, and should be disabled for offensive linemen on passing plays because that's a run blocking thing." Thank you so much to the NBC27 for this feedback, because now, because of that comment that he made, it's now been changed to only include running situations. So now the offensive linemen will be trying to hold their ground rather than push the defensive linemen back on pass plays. Of course, on running plays, it's all, they're going to be pushing them back. And of course, that's the way it should be. But this is the kind of feedback that I'm talking about. When we get this kind of feedback from the community and this stuff gets immediately put into the game a few weeks or a week later, that speaks volumes about the developer here. A developer that really genuinely cares about what we think about his football game. And one of the most disturbing things that I've seen lately is that most people just diss this game based on visual quality. Like the graphics don't look good enough. The animations aren't there yet either, and I understand that. The graphics and animations are subpar. I will admit that. But as far as moving this game into a simulation, more of a simulation type of a game that has simulation aspects to the game, like pursuit angles and pass blocking and all that kind of thing, has been respected so far from feedback from the community. And to me, that's huge, because being able to just make a comment on a YouTube video and have the developer look at it and say, you know what, yeah, let me go back and fix a few things to make this more of a simulation game. As a consumer, that means so much, because that tells the consumer, I want you to be happy with the product that I'm making. So what can I do to make this more of the type of game that you want to play? I'm going to do it. Again, that means so much, and I thank Danny Jugan for listening to us and trying the best he can to make this game go more into a simulation type game. Alright, so the next thing he's changed, or I should say is in the process of changing because it's not quite finished. He mentioned some other options that were going to go along with this, but the next thing was the scoreboard. I mentioned to him that it didn't have team name abbreviations, so it just had the logo, on the scoreboard, and it didn't have, the abbreviations. And so I sent him this picture here as an example, and I told him, we should have like the logo and the abbreviation next to the score, so it feels more authentic. And he's already added that in this update, and unfortunately it won't be moddable right now. He said it would be quite difficult to do, but he would add options in the future enabling it to look different. I'm not really sure what this entails exactly, but he did mention moving it into different sections of the screen, upper left hand corner, I think he said, or something like that, but we'll see. But this is just another example of direct feedback being implemented into an update. And so now next update will have a team name abbreviations next to the score, next to the logo and the score and everything. So that's cool. That's just another thing that I just quickly noticed, and asked him to add to the game. So that will be in Wednesday. And perhaps the biggest change, and it's not quite finished. Obviously, this is still the beta, and it's going to be added later on. And once the game's been released, he's promised me. So he's going to work on it really long and hard, he said, to get this is implemented as quickly as possible. And that's the 53-man rosters. Now, the 53-man rosters will be in the game. They just won't be quite usable at the moment. So the 53-man rosters will be in Wednesday, but you won't be able to sub yet. So it really makes no sense really at the moment. But he's went ahead and added it, but we won't be able to sub yet. So it's still going to be limited. But the statistics that have been changed, and thank you to Jinx. I'm not really sure what his name is. He goes by Jinx. It's the guy that did the Madden 08 mods. Every year he does the Madden 08 statistics and everything, the rosters. He ended up doing the rosters as far as the statistics are concerned. Myself and Sackmaster did some of the names. We worked on all the names, and at first we did do all the rosters, but we got to a point where we just ran out of time, and my work schedule was too much, and I couldn't really dedicate the time I wanted to the roster. So we recruited some help, and Jinx helped us out with the roster statistics, and these are going to be based on Madden, his Madden 08 teams this year, I believe. The guy's got like a huge database and stuff. But as far as the names are concerned, if you kick-started the game, if you backed it, your name will be in the game. Even if you didn't kickstart it, I did make a forum post later on in the Axis forums and said if you want to be in the game, I also made a video about this too, just post your name and whatever you want to be. And so your name will be in the game coming this Wednesday. So that's cool. And also regarding the names, I had a lot of fun doing it. I came up with some interesting ideas for some of the names. Even if it was like based on films that I've seen or friends that I've had or family members or whatever, friends, I would put them in the game. Or mostly I used a name generator, and I would just plug them in. But some of them I was thought, it would be fun to add, a few names like Easter eggs. So I've added 2 names into the game, like 2 names on 2 different teams that are Easter eggs. Now, if you own the game and you can find them and tell me what they are, I will give you 2 extra copies of the game to give to your friends. So that's like a little special giveaway. I don't make money on YouTube or anything, but I do work hard at my job, and I make money and everything. So if you want extra copies of the game to give to your friends, just tell me what these 2 Easter egg names are, and I will provide the 2 copies to your friends. Obviously, you won't need them because you have to have the game to see what the names are, possibly. But they're hidden away on 2 different teams, and they're starters, so they will be in the game Wednesday. So if you can go through and say, oh, I remember that guy's name, tell me what they are in the comments section, and I will, the first person that does it, or the first 2 people that does it, I will provide 2 copies of the game to your friends or whoever you want to give the game to. So that's just a little giveaway I wanted to add to you guys. Now, the final thing that he's added that I want to talk about is improvements to the running game, because to be perfectly honest, the running game was broken in my opinion. I could not run in this game on the last 2 betas. I could not run. I mean, yeah, I had a few good runs, but consistently running inside, I couldn't do it. And he said he's been working on reaction times and everything that the defense makes to get to the ball carrier. So the awareness attribute will be, I guess tied to how quickly they recognize a handoff, because before, in the last 2 beta builds, they were reacting like really quickly, and it was hard to get any runs successfully, inside runs especially. So I did tell him that, we want to make running through holes viable. So, hopefully that will be added this week. I'm not sure exactly. He did say it was going to be added, but I don't know how well it's going to be implemented. So I'll have to give him feedback on that. And there's additional bug fixes and things that he was working on. There was an exploit about the middle linebacker that I told him about with the center, and hopefully, he's fixed that. He did say he's worked on it, so I'll have to give him feedback on that as well. But it will be out this Wednesday, guys. So I'll have a video up this Wednesday. Thankfully, I'm off that day, so I'll be able to make a video about that and give him some quick feedback on the final beta build. So again, guys, Thanks for watching this video, and if you haven't played the game yet, or if you haven't thought about playing it yet, just give the guy a chance. Give feedback on what you see in my videos or anybody's videos. You don't have to necessarily buy the game, but just like the NBC 27 did in my last video, he gave constructive feedback, and here it is in the game already. So I just encourage more people to do that instead of just saying it looks like a Genesis game or whatever. We know the graphics aren't where they need to be. Let's not beat a dead horse. Let's just give constructive feedback that can help improve the game. All right, guys, that's it. I'll see you guys next time.